Good day, everyone. In this presentation, we will discuss the challenges faced by the Molbog people, one of the indigenous groups in Palawan. The Molbog primarily live in Balabac, Palawan, and are known for their deep connection to the sea and coastal environment. Their livelihood traditionally depends on small-scale fishing, seaweed farming, and other marine resources. As a community with a strong cultural identity and Islamic heritage, their way of life is closely tied to their ancestral land and waters. However, like many indigenous communities, they continue to face various environmental, economic, and socio-cultural challenges that affect their survival and future. Now, let's proceed to the environmental challenges faced by the Molbog people. First, loss of ancestral lands. Private corporations and tourism developers encroach upon areas that the Molbog have historically inhabited. This restricts their access to forests, coastal areas, and traditional fishing grounds, which are essential for their survival. The loss of ancestral land also leads to environmental consequences. For example, in areas like Mariahangin Island in Balabac, parts of the territory traditionally cared for by the Mulbog were open to tourism development. When large-scale construction and private control take place, natural ecosystems such as mangroves, coral reefs, and coastal forests can become disturbed or degraded.
Marine ecosystem degradation, coral reef, mangroves, and seagrass beds which serve as critical fish breeding grounds and natural protections against storms are created by construction, overfishing, and environmental mismanagement. As a result, fish population declines, reducing food supply and income for the community. Marine ecosystem degradation. In Molbog, indigenous people who primarily resides on Balabac Island in southern Palawan, marine ecosystem degradations is another threat to their ancestral domain in Logta, Molbog, which encompasses approximately 34,998 hectares of terrestrial and marine environment.
Climate change intensified the existing challenges faced by the Molbog tribe in Balabac, Palawan, Philippines. As a rising sea levels, stronger typhoons, and shifting fish migration patterns threaten the homes, ancestral lands, and coastal resources. This environmental challenge disrupt the fishing-based livelihood, increase food insecurity and poverty, and awaken cultural traditions that are deeply connected to their marine and island environment.
Economic challenges. Disruption of traditional livelihood. One key problem is the disruption of traditional livelihood, such as small-scale fishing, seaweed farming, and subsistence agriculture. Restricted access to fishing grounds and farmland due to land disputes and commercial development projects make it difficult for families to earn a stable income. Disruption of traditional livelihood refers to how modern pressure like overfishing, land disputes, or industrial projects destroy time-honored ways of life for communities relying on fishing, farming, or subsistence agriculture. Overfishing depletes fish stock, reducing catches and income for fishermen. The marine areas of traditional fishing ground, vital of fishing, breeding, and natural food source are being damaged by construction, overfishing, and poor environmental management. Due to change in fish migration patterns, the risk of food shortage for coastal and island communities is increasing. The Molbog are especially affected of these issues.
The second economic challenges of Molbog is poverty and limited livelihood options. The geographic isolation of Balabac limits access to markets, infrastructure, and alternative employment opportunities. Many Molbog households rely solely on their traditional livelihoods, making them economically vulnerable
especially when environmental conditions worsen or market prices fluctuate. Because Balabac is far from cities and towns, it's hard for people to get to markets, roads, and jobs. Many Molbog families depend only on their usual ways of earning a living, like farming or fishing. This makes them poor and at risk, especially when weather is bad or prices for their products go down.
Number 3. Insecure land tenure. Delays and complication in ensuring the certificate of ancestral domain title leave communities at risk of displacement without formal recognition of ownership. Families are less likely to invest in long-term improvements in agriculture of fishing with undermine economics growth and stability. So, it means po, many communities do not have secure ownership of their land because getting an official document called the Certificate of Ancestral Domain Title takes a long time and is complicated. Without this legal proof, the land belongs to them. Families may be proceed to leave their land because they are not officially recognized as the owner. People are less willing to spend money or effort on improving their farms or fishing areas. This makes it harder to the community's economy to grow and remain stable.
Socio-Cultural Challenge. Number 1. Cultural erosion. A freezing issue as displacement and outside influences threaten traditional costume, oral history, and Islamic practices. When communities are forced to relocate or adapt to new environment, those traditions risk being weakened or lost. It means cultural erosion is a serious problem where displacement and external influences put traditional costume, oral histories, and Islamic practices at risk. When people are forced to move new places or adjust their way to life to adapt to new environments, this tradition may be weakened or disappear entirely.
Number 2, displacement, caused by land disputes and development project disrupts family and community structures. Relocated members often lose social cohesion, making it harder to maintain community governance, support network, and cultural continuity. So, displacement happens when people are forced to leave their homes because of land conflicts or development projects like mining, roads, or buildings. So when families move away, their communities become separated. Because of this, they lose their strong connection with each other. It becomes harder to keep their tradition, culture, and leadership system. They may also lose their support system, like relatives and neighbors who usually help each other. So in short, displacement affects not only their homes but also their culture, unity, and way of life.
Marginalization. They experience social, political, and legal pressures that weaken their influence in decision-making processes affecting their lands and resources. This can limit their ability to protect their cultural heritage, access government programs, and secure economic and social rights. So, marginalization means being pushed to the edge of society, where a group's voice is not fully heard or valued in important decisions. For indigenous communities like the Molbog tribe in southern Philippines, this happened when social discrimination, political exclusion, and weak legal protection reduced their influence over decisions about their ancestral land and natural resources. Because the Molbog people traditionally depend on fishing, farming, and local ecosystem for their livelihood and cultural practices. Being left out of decision-making processes can directly threaten their way of life. For example, if government or private companies make decisions about the land use, tourism, or resource extraction without properly consulting them, the Molbog may struggle to protect sacred sites, maintain their traditions, or access government support programs meant to indigenous peoples. As a result, marginalization does not only limit their political power, it also affects their economic opportunities, social rights, and ability to preserve their cultural heritage for future generations. Now, here are some recommendations that can help the Molbog people in the challenges they face. First, strengthen protection of ancestral lands. The government should fast-track the issuance of the Certificate of Ancestral Domain title to ensure legal recognition and protection of Molbog territories. This would reduce displacement and land-related conflicts. Second, promote sustainable livelihood programs. Support community-based fishing, seaweed farming, and eco-friendly enterprises. Providing access to markets, financial assistance, and skills training can improve economic stability. Third, enhance climate resilience and environmental protection. Invest in mangrove restoration, coral reef protection, and sustainable coastal management to protect livelihoods from climate change and environmental degradation. Fourth, preserve cultural heritage. Implement programs that document and promote Molbog traditions, oral histories, and Islamic practices. Strengthening indigenous education and community leadership can help maintain cultural identity. And lastly, ensure inclusive decision making. The Molbog community should be actively involved in development planning and policy making processes that affect their land and resources. Overall, the Molbog people face serious environmental, economic, and socio-cultural challenges that threaten both their survival and identity. Land insecurity, climate change, and livelihood disruption continue to put pressure on their community. Protecting their ancestral domain, strengthening sustainable livelihood, and respecting indigenous rights are essential to ensuring their future. Supporting the Molbog means protecting both cultural heritage and the environment.